Hello again everyone. It's a bit wet out there today. I've got a job planned that I was going to do on the van, but we're going to have to find something to do inside instead. Now I've had a few bashes at trying to produce semi-realistic sort of flames on bottles, but that's quite difficult if your background isn't black. So I've got a white bottle here. I'm going to try to put some of the more stylised hot rod type flames on this. Now, as I've said before, these aren't really tutorials. I've never attempted this before at all, so I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'll show you either way. So let's give it a go, I suppose. How are you all doing in the old lockdown, not being able to take advantage of things like hairdressers and such? I've realised I've developed the look of a pineapple in my time in lockdown. I've got this fine line masking tape. I picked it up, I think, when I was last up at the Airbrush Academy, which is now sadly closed. But yeah, I think this will do the trick. Well, I think that's what it's intended for, isn't it? Well, that was surprisingly tricky. That masking tape wasn't as flexible as I thought it would be. Never mind. Anyway, now I think the next thing to do is to just cut through that other masking tape, the white masking tape, where the blue line is, to remove the bits of white masking tape we don't need. Well, rather than using normal red, yellow, orange type colours for flames, I thought it'd be interesting to do something a little bit different since they're stylised flames. And my mum and dad bought me this set of model colours for Christmas, and that's got all sorts of metallic kind of colours in there. So I think we could sort of go with copper and gold, couldn't we? That might look quite good. Maybe with a blue edging to it. Don't know. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure if we can use these straight through the airbrush or whether we need to thin them with anything. I could try the Ttxela thinners, I suppose. I'll try them neat first and we'll see how we get on. Oh, listen to the rain. Well, those metallic paints were quite different to spray than the Ttxela Wicked paints that I usually use. They did require thinning, and I used the Ttxela thinner because that's all I've got. And that seemed to work okay. but they do flow very quick out of the brush, and you have to spray them very, very lightly, much lighter than the Ttxela paints, otherwise it does start to run. So you have to put it on quite gently and slowly. Anyway, now I'm going to switch back to the Ttxela, and I'm going to use a blue just to put a little bit of definition around the edges of those flames. I'm going to try and keep it pretty minimal, maybe just bounce off the edge of the tape a little bit with the blue, and I think that'll give it a nice edge. So I'll try that now, eh? Well, I'm going to leave that for a couple of minutes just for the paint to take a little bit, and then I think it's a matter of carefully removing the masking tape to see what we've got. Fingers crossed, eh? Now, I'm definitely liking that effect. I definitely like those metallic paints. They're very good. You can see I've got some bleed going on underneath the masking tape. So I'm going to have to try and do something about that. You can also see I was a bit heavy with the old craft knife, and I've gone through the paint on the bottle as well. So we'll have to maybe try and touch in that too. And that unfortunately is in quite a lot of places. But yeah, I do like the metallic sort of hot rod flame effect. Probably could do with being a bit busier. I think my flames are a bit sparse and spindly. Might be better if there was some other design on the white as well, but as a first sort of attempt, I don't think that's too bad. I'll let that harden up a little while, and then we'll try and fix that bleed. The other thing that has happened is that we've got quite a lot of paint on the bottom of the bottle. I'll try and clean that up too, just as a bit of an exercise to see if it can be done. Well, it's a couple of days later, and I want to tidy this up a little bit. The only real way I can think of doing it is to use that fine masking tape again and just mask off the flame area, and then blow some white in where I've either gone under the tape or damaged the finish with the knife. So let's do that now. Okay, well, unfortunately that white just bled back again underneath the masking tape. So yeah, this is not going very well at all. I did try and spray in without masking just to cover up that scratch, but I think those scratches are just a little bit too deep to do that. So I'm struggling to think of a way that I can pull this back, really. I think as much as I like this effect, I think possibly I'm either using the wrong sort of masking tape or using it wrongly. Or maybe I'd be better off doing it with the Ultra Mask if I wanted to get this effect. But obviously, if you're doing it on something larger, that would be a very expensive way of doing it, because that Ultra Mask is not cheap. Anyhow, I'm going to leave this here, I think. I'll put the video up because I always said I'll show my failures as well as successes. If anyone's got any recommendations or spotted anything I was doing wrong, or maybe got some ideas for pulling this round, I won't do anything with it yet. I think what I might do though is take some 800 grit paper over it all and then respray it again and try something else on this bottle. Anyhow, leave that there, and see you again for hopefully something a little bit more successful. I do like these metallic paints though. I'm going to do something else with those soon. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.